Hey folks, it's time for us to talk once again about Twitter and the different Twitter clients you could be using. And for some of us, it's time to jump back over to the Twitter homepage. There's some really exciting enhancements happened over there that you need to be aware of. I'm using Seesmic Desktop. You might be using TweetDeck, or you might be using a handheld tool on a portable device to update Twitter status or even read Twitter. And many people don't get over to the Twitter homepage, but today is a day to get over there, and I'm going to tell you why. In the tools like TweetDeck or Seesmic, you've got your home stream of content coming in, and you've got your replies that might feature your username. And then you've also got search columns. Here I've got one for Algonquin Park, so anytime anybody types Algonquin Park, that comes into my feed. And I could search for, or I could track events like the Adventure Travel World Summit. Or I can group people in groups, like my family and people that I want to follow that are family and friends, that I kind of get all of their tweets in one column. That's a really useful tool. But today, Twitter has done something that, adds a little bit of bump and pizzazz to what's possible by using something called Twitter lists. As you look at, if you go back to the Twitter homepage and you start to look at the people that you're following, you'll see some new things here. So for example, if I go down my list of people that I'm following, I can say, oh wow, look at that. Hey, there's Travelocity I'm following. But now I can add Travelocity to a list. And I just started a travel list, so I can click on them, and then Travelocity's tweets will be featured in a list. I have climate-friendly people that I follow and specific people that are in Canada, so I can make some very specific lists of people that I want to follow. Not only that, these lists can be public or private. I can keep the list to myself. For instance, my friends and family list in Twitter would be kept private, so it doesn't even show up in this list. However, my list of Canadian political leaders, that list is public. So if I take that web page, that URL for that web page, I can share that with other people, and other people looking at that list can follow my list. It's quite impressive way to build up a following of people who matter on Twitter. Let's take a look at how this looks and some other things that might happen. If I pull up a fella, Bruce Poontip, who's somebody I'm following in the travel industry, an eco-entrepreneur in sustainable travel. And if I look at Bruce's list, I can see that he's now been listed on 14 different lists. And I can go into those lists. For instance, Concierge Q has travel info gurus, and I can see that they've got 48 people that they're following in that list, and there are 2 people that are following that list. So instead of following individual people, you can choose to follow the people that are in that list. Interestingly, as people are added or taken off that list, you can imagine what will happen to your feed of the people who are feeding you. So this is a really, really interesting development. As I start to find the people that I'm connected with that feed me information and then distribute that to the people that follow me, we're essentially really reaching out and creating this really rich web of people. And if I want to get cool quality people to follow, I just find somebody who's got a really impressive list, and I follow their list of people who influence their thinking. The trick is going to be really accurate and careful with who you're following, because what we're going to start to see is your reliability and your credibility is going to be bound up in the suggestions you make to other people about who to follow. It's Twitter Tuesday, it's Follow Friday, it's Follow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think we're going to start to see that whole idea of following people dissolve as the idea of Twitter lists becomes more prevalent and people start to use and find new ways to make use of their network. And it's all about networks. It's all about degrees of separation, degrees of connectivity. Make use of it in your world. Thanks for watching.